regards to Mr. S.K. Birla, President of Shikshayatan Foundation, Board of Governors, Honorable Trustees, and core committee members of CBS. And we are honored to have the kind presence of Mr. Saurabh Ghosh, Senior Advisor, Shikshayatan Foundation, and Mrs. Bratati Bhattacharya, Secretary General and CEO, Shikshayatan Foundation. Our esteemed panelists for today are Dr. Jhumoor Biswas, Professor, Indian Institute of Social Welfare and Business Management, IISWBM, and Dr. Shivaji Banerjee, Assistant Professor, St. Xavier's College, Kolkata. Also joining this meet today are the faculty members and students of Calcutta Business School. Calcutta Business School is a residential institute, keeping in mind the need for management education in Eastern India, and being an autonomous institution, it offers AICTE-approved PGDM courses designed as per the latest industry needs by an expert team of faculty and advisors comprising of both renowned academicians and industry leaders, and has recently introduced a BBA in Business Analytics course in a collaboration with Knockout. And we are delighted to announce that representing Calcutta Business School today as moderator is none other than respected Dr. Pinaki Ranjan Bhattacharya, Acting Principal, Calcutta Business School. This event is being live streamed on Facebook for our viewers. May I now request Saurabh sir to please deliver the welcome address.
Thank you, Madhusri. Yeah. Good evening, everyone, and my greetings. Mrs. Bratati Bhattacharya, Secretary General and CEO of Shikshayatan Foundation, Professor Pinaki Ranjan Bhattacharya, Principal Acting of Calcutta Business School, and also moderator for this evening. The distinguished speakers, Dr. Jhumoor Biswas, Professor of Indian Institute of Social Welfare and Business Management, Dr. Shivaji Banerjee, Professor of St. Xavier's College, Kolkata, all faculty members of Calcutta Business School, our dear students, and others who have joined this program. Today's topic is very interesting. Organized by Career Development Workshop Series Center of Excellence of Calcutta Business School. So, this is an important topic, exploring management career options in organizations post-COVID. The post-pandemic scenario is governed by VUCA, and management of all types of businesses under VUCA is a challenge professionally and strategically. There are multiple opportunities to grow one's career as a highly skilled specialist and take responsibilities to manage businesses under these uncertain conditions most effectively and profitably. All management business schools are nurturing and mentoring the students to become responsible business managers. The panel discussions will encourage and inspire the students who are dreaming to become competent business managers of today. The requirements of a good, skilled manager will always be there as the economy is developing. I thank everyone for being here today. I thank the organizers from CBS who has arranged this useful panel discussion to inspire all the students. Thank you. Over to Madhusri.
Thank you, sir. I now invite Bratati ma'am to please set the tone for the day.
Okay, thank you, Madhusri. A very good evening to everyone who are present here. My heartiest greetings to Mr. Ghosh, our esteemed panelists, Dr. Biswas, Dr. Banerjee, our principal in charge, Dr. Bhattacharya, Professor Neha Joshi, Professor Majumdar, all my colleagues, members of the faculty, dear students, and everybody who is joining us on Facebook. This session is aimed at helping to identify the specific specialization in management in the world post-COVID. You just heard what Mr. Ghosh has said. He said that, we all talk about this VUCA world. And every time I think about this VUCA world, I feel that, we can use these, acronym in a very different way. And I say, okay, instead of volatile, we can start seeing values. Instead of complexity, we can start seeing, collaboration. Instead of, we can talk about, understanding people, because that is what you need in business. And when you talk about ambiguity, we can talk about adaptation. What should be my approach to business? So you see management, when you see management as a skill being taught, ever since, when actually education started, it is a skill. And centuries ago, it was imparted by the gurus or in the, in the gurukuls. And in the recent time, it is through management or business school like ours. Some facets of management are leadership, time management, time efficiency, effective communication. It will always remain constant, because whenever you are becoming a good manager, you actually differ in how you display your skills. And when you choose such a domain, you must first understand what are socially, economically, industrially, acceptable. What are the viable avenues that are best suited, for their nature and attitude. With the extreme changes which has been brought by pandemic and the complete paradigm shift that we saw in the way we have been working and the way we are communicating and the type of pathways that we have chosen, the different opportunities that have been created, have all become so very different, but it has given us so many opportunities. So we must take those opportunities. Charles Darwin once said that it is not the strongest or the most intelligent who will survive, but those who best manage change. So we must equip ourselves to best fit in to the world while embracing all its greatest and sometimes different kind of modifications. Well, today, we have our moderator or the chairperson here, Dr. Bhattacharya, and our esteemed panelists who are all going to talk about this change. And we are all waiting to listen to you, Dr. Biswas and Dr. Banerjee. So all the best to both of you and welcome once again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. May I now introduce our key speakers for the day. Our first panelist, Dr. Jhumoor Biswas, is Departmental Head, MBA Public Systems at Indian Institute of Social Welfare and Business Management. Dr. Biswas is a graduate in physics from Calcutta University, MSc in physics from IIT Kharagpur, and MTech in physics and meteorology from IIT Kharagpur. She completed her PhD in atmospheric sciences from State University of New York at Albany, USA. She has more than 15 years research experience in air pollution, data analysis, and air pollution modeling, and more than 10 years of teaching experience in environmental management and on management information systems in interdisciplinary subjects such as transport and logistics management, healthcare management, and sports management. She has worked on research projects on environment and energy management sponsored by organizations such as National Science Foundation and Coal India Limited. She has several research publications in reputed international journals. Welcome to this session, ma'am.
Thank you. And I think both Mr. Ghosh and Vratuti, they set the tone for today's discussion, and they have discussed so many points already. I don't know, from the perspective of students, what more I can add, but I'll try my best to at least give the students some perspective of, this times we're living through, this tumultuous times. So I'm going to try to share the screen. I don't know how to do this much in Zoom because we use Google Meet here a lot, but I'll try. And so that the students can understand what I'm talking about. So is the screen visible to all, I think? Yes.
Dr. Biswas, I think Madhushree probably have to introduce the other
Dr. Banerjee also.
speaker, and then I think
yes,
Dr. Bhattacharya will start moderating the session.
Okay.
Yes, then the discussions can start.
Okay. All right.
So our next panelist is Dr. Shivaji Banerjee, former head of the Department of Management in the Postgraduate and Research Department of Commerce at St. Xavier's College, Kolkata. He has an overall teaching and research experience spanning 13 years. He is a rank holder in Masters of Commerce degree and stood overall first in PGDBM examination from IIMT prior to obtaining his PhD degree in the domain of organization behavior from University of Burdwan. He has received membership from All India Management Association for his contribution to the professionalization of management, and also received the prestigious Association of Chartered Institute of Marketing, UK. Dr. Banerjee has been awarded the Accredited Management Teacher status by All India Management Association in recognition of his proficiency in management teaching and contribution towards the development of management pedagogy. He won the Management Education Excellence Award at the National Education Convention and was also conferred with the Adarsh Vidya Saraswati Rashtriya Puraskar by Global Management Council, Ahmedabad, and has won the distinction of being one of the best teachers in the country. He has claimed several Best Paper awards at both national and international conference and has published more than 20 research articles in national and international journals of repute. Dr. Banerjee was also nominated as a subject expert in the Board of Studies in Management at McCourt. He also received the prestigious fellow status of South Asian Institute of Advanced Research and was also invited to be the chairperson in the technical sessions at both national and international conferences of repute. He has authored 2 books based on his postdoctoral research published by Lambert Academic Publishing, Germany. He is currently guiding 3 research scholars for PhD in the domain of marketing management and human resource management under the University of Calcutta. His other notable achievements include being the academic mentor at IIM Calcutta for an entrepreneurship summit, the editorial board member of the Journal of Advances in Research and Technology, radio counselor for IGNU, member of Indian Management Scholars International USA, panelist and moderator at Army Institute of Management, Kolkata, content developer in management by IISWBM. Welcome to this session, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the introduction.
You're muted, Madhushree, you're muted.
Yes, and finally, I'm honored to introduce our panelists for today, Dr. Pinaki Ranjan Bhattacharya, acting principal and constant guide to Calcutta Business School. Dr. Bhattacharya obtained his PhD in business management in marketing area from University of Calcutta and Masters in Business Administration from University of Burdwan, with 22 years of experience as an academician, trainer, and researcher in different institutes across the country. Prior to joining academics in 2001, he had served for 10 years in various industries of repute in Mumbai and Kolkata in the areas of financial services and information technology. Prior to joining CBS, he served as Dean Academics with Doon Business School, Dehradun, and faculty member IBS Kolkata and Dehradun under the ICFAI University, Dehradun, and other institutes of repute. As an academician, he has several research papers and case studies to his credit in reputed national and international journals. He has conducted a number of MDPs and FDPs. His research interest includes emerging concepts in consumer behavior, ethical issues in services marketing practices, customer value chain involvement, perceptual branding, and green marketing. He was a member, Board of Studies, Center of Management and Economic Studies, UPES, Dehradun. He is also impaneled with MSME, Government of India as visiting faculty under ESDP scheme. Currently, he is also impaneled reviewer in international journals like Sage. He is member editorial board MERC Global's International Journal of Management, impaneled as a supervisor, joint supervisor for PhD program in management with Calcutta University, the ICFI University, Jharkhand, IMA, AMU, Macau, to name a few. And he has successfully guided students for PhD and also been appointed by Gujarat Technical University as an external examiner for evaluating theses and was appointed a panel member for final Viva examination of PhD scholars. I now request Pinaki sir to please take the session forward.
Thank you, Madhusri. My regards to Mr. Ghosh, Mr. Saurabh Ghosh, and Mrs. Bhatati Bhattacharya, Madam, and Dr. Shivaji Banerjee and Dr. Jhumoor Biswas today. Welcome you all today for this webinar. I also welcome my fellow colleagues, my students, and the participants or the viewers who are viewing today's webinar. As the webinar title says, exploring management career options in organizations post-COVID. This is a very important aspect today. If I remember, Dr. Banerjee will be able to recollect 4 years back, 2018, when I visited St. Xavier's University on an international conference as a chairperson, but it was talking about hookah world, if you remember, Dr. Banerjee, right? And I told you that why we are going for this hookah world now. We should have thought of something else, right? But then we are not aware of that in 2020, we'll really be seeing a hookah world. Where Madam said that it is a little different, but we feel, I mean, last 2 years, pandemic has taught us, you know, that hookah has got different meaning for different people, right? Now, it has also been given a different meaning because many people are sustaining, many people are thinking of doing something different, right? And particularly the students, they are at crossroads to understand where they will actually go, which career they should pursue. And this is why we have thought to understand and know from you, because you are also in the industry, in the academic world, you'll be able to tell us. And as we discussed when we talk to each other, Dr. Biswas and Dr. Banerjee, that how we can think of the students, how we can guide them properly to navigate them to a road where they can see a roadmap in the next few years. So I leave it to Dr. Banerjee now first, ma'am. I think I should give it to Dr. Banerjee first to tell us what do you think about the different avenues for this for a student to pursue his management career.
Is my screen visible, sir?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so can I begin?
Yeah, please, surely.
So a very good afternoon to esteemed panelists, academicians, dignitaries, students, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a proud privilege and a pleasure for me to get the invitation today by Calcutta Business School to address the students and the audience on this very relevant and pertinent topic. My heartfelt gratitude and thanks to Calcutta Business School, Madam Bhatati Bhattacharya, Secretary General and CEO, Mr. Saurabh Ghosh, Advisor, and the Principal, Dr. Pinaki Ranjan Bhattacharya, for the invitation. Now, this topic is very contemporary, and I feel that there are lots to discuss and debate. I am not usually following the PPT style because it's a webinar and an interactive one, but I have designed the flow of teaching and discussion in a manner that sets the tone for today's webinar. So I shall begin with the impact of COVID pandemic on organizations, followed by the recent trends in management education, unlocking new paradigms in management education, particularly in terms of the career, the B school education that has changed in the last 2 years in the post-pandemic, and what are the advancements or career options that the students are possibly going to have in the post-COVID scenario. The impact of the coronavirus pandemic has been largely disruptive. The year 2020 is likely to go down in history as a pivotal year for the 21st century. It has the potential to redefine most of our socio-economic activities and the workplace, including the academic and educational world in particular. The petrifying impact of the COVID-19 pandemic has shaken the world to its core, and the governments all over the world were compelled to close down educational institutions for quite a period of time. And this had impacted, according to a survey, 91% of the student population all over the world. UNESCO supporting some of these countries in order to mitigate the closures, particularly the vulnerable sections of students in society, and spread the continuity of education through remote learning. The UNESCO estimates that 32 crore students in India are affected due to the pandemic, particularly those in schools, colleges, and universities. Nevertheless, the COVID-19 pandemic had forced the decision makers to rethink about the conventional mode of education, and digital education seemed to be a viable solution, particularly to fill in the void of classroom education for the time period, minimizing the chances of infection until the physical classes resumed. And we have seen in the last 2 years, there have been instances where physical classes had to open and again close down due to the resurgence of the pandemic in its different waves. More importantly, it has also brought into the hitherto educational scenario of digital education to the center stage. Going forward, digital education is possibly going to supplement mainstream education. This will enable the process of inclusive education, also facilitating learning across geographical boundaries and transcending them. A complete revolution in the way we learn today has been brought about by technology, which was not easy in the traditional chalk and talk method of learning. Massive open online courses, what we popularly call the MOOCs, aimed at unlimited participation among the audience and students, and India is considered to be one of the biggest markets for MOOC, since the population of India is large and it can throw open gateways for bringing about a revolution in the field of education. Online distant learning programs provided a great opportunity to avail high quality learning with the help of internet connectivity. In the new normal, digital learning offered its own advantages as it focused on learners' engagement, cost effectiveness, and also getting the students to learn in the confines of their own homes. Blended education is the next thing in the new normal that we are all talking about, which is the convergence of both online and offline methods of teaching and learning. And keeping the physical distancing norms and other COVID protocols, Microsoft Teams, Zoom, Google, etc. have been instrumental in becoming very popular as providers of purposeful online education. Developing, therefore, a well-defined online course requires the instructor and the learner in the online environment to merge, particularly in the field of management education. And through the use of technology, we can, to some extent, compensate, mitigate the problems that had been posed by the COVID-19 pandemic. And we often say this, learning is a continuous process and ever-evolving process too. And educational institutions can consider this adversity to be a blessing in disguise and make digital education an integral part of their curriculum. As business leaders, since we are talking of management education and unlocking paradigms in management education, as business leaders, we try to navigate and rebuild economies who have been affected by the global pandemic. And business schools and management institutions all over the world are rethinking about the role of leadership and how to train the next generation of managers in the midst of the unprecedented crisis in the new normal. It is time, therefore, for the reinvention of management education, particularly aiming at training, developing, and managing managers to deal with the complexities of a fast-changing and dynamic world. Recent trends in management education, particularly in the B School post-pandemic, would focus on the following issues: quality education addressing diversity and multicultural contexts, greater involvement of industry and partnership, particularly from the perspective of academia, restructuring curriculum and pedagogy by emphasizing on a blended learning to enhance the global competitiveness, global exposure with more exchange programs, particularly befitting industry and academia, to prepare students for global leadership roles and facilitate greater employability. Focusing on online education for greater reach, accessibility, and ultimately interface. Education should enable learners to be happy, healthy, and useful. I repeat, education should be such that it should be helpful to the learners to be happy, healthy, and useful. And management education, particularly, should be purposeful by revitalizing the country in order to meet the expectations of all its stakeholders, such as the faculty, the students, the society, the industry, the community, the government at large. The future of management education is shaped by technology, artificial intelligence, machine learning, augmented reality, Internet of Things, big data analysis. And I think these avenues are important, going to be career options that students can in future pursue. Given the accelerated pace of management education, blended on the qualities of integrating, building, and reconfiguring internal and external competencies, it is now time to address the needs of a rapidly changing environment. These capabilities should therefore be helpful in developing core competencies which can become strategic assets to improve organizational processes and facilitate team performance. The role of B schools in mapping career of students in the future should be focusing more on participant-centered learning, what we call a PCL pedagogy. The parameters of recruitment in organizations in the post-COVID world also would be changing, and therefore the recruitment parameters should alter from just body language to digital dexterity, and from problem solving offline to problem solving skills online. And MBA education thus would require reimagining this delivery process to strengthen the hybridized needs of business schools in particular. I therefore feel that change is the only thing permanent, as Madam Bratati Bhattacharya had put it, and organizations which are able to create that mindset for the digital knowledge, the right skills, and adaptability to change, it is what is going to help organizations stay relevant and competitive and survive as they navigate the new world order. So the future of management education is bright. Like I said, big data, Internet of Things, digital marketing, artificial intelligence, voice recognition, data analytics are going to be the future of management education. And I wish all my students in this audience a bright and successful career as they navigate into the newer hemispheres of their life. With this, I would like to end my discussion and hand over the proceedings of the session to Dr. P.R. Bhattacharya, the moderator. And thank you very much for your patient listening. I would therefore look forward to any questions that you may have for interaction at the end of the session. Thank you very much.
for your such a vivid description about the current situation as we mapped the present situation, what we went through and what we should do. Okay, so from the point that the total affected students, almost around 32 crores, to how the digital world can help the students, right? Well, I do agree with you, of course. We will have a discussion on that because we have seen upsurge of certain issues like digital divide, then MOOCs, which is definitely, as you said, has become very important today. Across the world, we can go for any course that way. But again, the students also feel a little different because everyone, we have also seen a problem, which we have almost felt, that students cannot use internet at every point of time at different places, right? The network is not so strong. They have complained many a times to us, to you also as well, when we discussed many a times that they had problems, right? Now, management education is very important for that, right? So we will have a discussion on that, how the career prospects of students can be taken care of from this point onwards, right? I would now request Dr. Biswas to kindly elaborate on her points about how she feels that this education management career as an education, as a career option can be taken care of post-COVID.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bhattacharya. I think Dr. Banerjee has explained a lot of the things, so I will add a few points. I'll just share my screen so that everybody is, so you can view it. Is the screen viewable? Can
yes,
you see it?
Absolutely, yeah. It's visible. It is visible.
Okay. Right. So I'm just going to press that. Right. All right. So now, so this topic is, as you know, exploring the management options post-COVID, and a lot of it has been stated already. So I'll go over it just very, very briefly. And so obviously, 2019 end proved to be very significant when this virus emerged and affected the lives of so many people, and was declared for the first time. It kind of unified the whole world because it was declared a public health emergency at international levels. And this virus has had an impact on every aspect of our existence, including the physical environment and workforce. So now it has really completely changed the way the management options, because it is very important to adapt management skills and roles to post-pandemic ways of working, which develops some resilience in the operating model. So I'm just going to get into real facts, like departments, traditional management departments, sales, marketing, finance was mostly online, but some of it was offline. They've all switched from offline to online mode. And manufacturing, pharmaceuticals, surprisingly, have also tried to involve as much as online mode as possible. Now the pandemic is receding, we are having more or less the hybrid mode. And the hybrid mode has going to work effectively because you're going to have the blending of old workforce and new workforce. Most of the new workforce are the students who are so present here, young students and prospective management graduates who are very much skilled in digital learning. And if the companies and organizations promote this hybrid mode, that results in a lot of cost saving and effectiveness of growth in industry. Now, this study I studied in 2017, the McKinsey, which is a global institute, which is one of the leading consulting firms, estimated that as many as 375 million workers, or 14% of global workforce, would have to acquire new skills by 2030, because as Dr. Banerjee mentioned, because of automation and artificial intelligence, which is doing a lot of work. So, and this is applicable across all sectors, including educational, manufacturing, logistics, and finance. And management graduates, as was experienced, it's not just traditional management, must be more skilled in robotics, big data analytics, Internet of Things, and interpretation of data to make effective decisions for companies. So what I'm trying to say is that we saw these instances during COVID era when educational went completely online in India also. and logistics, which I'll discuss a little bit more later, played such a pivotal role in serving people in this endemic, this real pandemic era when people could not be in touch with each other. And so now coming back to the coronavirus pandemic, it has made this acquisition of digital skill very urgent. And the workers have to adapt to new changing conditions, and management has to learn how to match these workers to new roles and activities. But again, as you know, there is the mindsets of older workers, and it is a really difficult and challenge for them. So the management has to be patient and needs training and adaptation programs to fit them into this new role. Now, what has really emerged here? Remote working, telecommuting, satellite offices. Satellite offices are offices spread where the workers themselves, they don't have to relocate. They can work from home. They can also work from a central office close to their location instead of traveling to the place of location. And the emphasis in working has become more on secure servers and networks. That is, protection of information has become a very big issue now. And for example, sales, they're not going directly, or they could not exhibit showrooms, even in case of automobiles. So they had to set up video meetings, and they had to manage customer relationships effectively in remote settings. And so when you have the new sales personnel, or even the older people who are so effective in sales, they will need some training in these digital app settings. This is very important. And now another very important challenge for especially senior managers is, the teams have to be led virtually, but they have to maintain cohesion in the workforce from distant locations. So all the participants are real time, but from distant locations, and yet they have to work collaboratively together. And there has to be unity and cohesion in workforce. So this is a real challenge for managers, and the emerging managers have to get used to this world. And I think IT, like Infosys, TCS, and many others, Wipro, they've all shown, they've led the way, and they've shown how this can be achieved, because IT has shown significant profit in the for the past 2 years by this kind of a model. So what we really need is with traditional managerial skills, you need a deeply engaged workforce with multiple skills. Okay, you have to be able to adapt, as Dr. Banerjee said, to the new conditions, and they have to be actively participating in building digital training programs, creating ecosystem partners to produce and deliver digital content rapidly to a broad base of employees across the regions. And who must lead this? The top management. They have to lead this digital revolution, and they must support the digital implementation at all levels, because without active support from top management, all the resources, which Dr. Bhattacharya was so, he was scared that, what would happen if the internet connection is not strong. So top management must ensure virtual private networks, internet speed, connectivity, optical fiber connection. They must take the lead in this, and consult with their own chief information officers and talk about how to go about this digital revolution. Now, what should the emerging managers do? They should really have some basic idea of what is network security, because you already know, and you've already seen in news about the issues in bank security. Many people have been scammed. So network security is very important. And a role of enterprise resource planning, which is a global integration of different hubs of organizations to share data in real time. So data has to come in real time and has to be shared instantly for effective digital making. And COVID has only hastened this. This would have happened in the next 5 to 10 years, but COVID has hastened the process. And all the emerging managers should have some idea about the data security options, like encryption, firewall, proxy servers, etc., so that at least when we discuss with IT about their security issues, they have to have some idea what they're talking about. Another part which Dr. Banerjee, of course, discussed very effectively is big data analytics for trends and forecasting. This is the new concept of big data. Most of the companies are collecting that, to look at what is happening for the past 5 years, that is trends, and what will happen in the future, that is forecasting. If the business went as usual, that is business as usual scenario. If there was, better case of business, then how would the forecasting be if COVID repeats itself? So you have to take in various multiple factors in forecasting. And that is a rule of managers, not just researchers. That's what I'm trying to say. Then so managers have to have some basic skills of Excel and data analytics software, like say R, maybe Python a little bit, and some other, many softwares are coming up, but something which they can hold on to and use this for analytics. Then concept of cloud server has come up in a big way, pioneered by Amazon, and who are also the leading giants in e-commerce. So that has helped many small businesses to flourish because they can use the cloud server of Amazon to display their businesses and to work effectively. And so what the managers need is that they have to develop critical skills that open up multiple opportunities rather than specific traditional management role. Now, I'll come to a little bit about public service sectors because that played a very important role in COVID. And I'm not going to go through the slide because that you can read yourself. Because public service sectors do not result in ownerships, but they play a very crucial role in the country's economy. And here, during COVID-19, they have shown the utility of various public service sectors, and it was originally an agenda in Rio, the United Nations conference in 1992, where it was invoked that social groups, like including youth like yourself, local government, communities, and public services have to play an important role in sustainable decision making. And this is a very important part, as you know, in the near future. And in recent times, when we had to cover, the government used these services very effectively to combat overall COVID-19 impact in providing essential goods and services and also in workplaces. In future, workplace issues such as indoor air pollution, workplace sanitation, safety issues have to come to the forefront. And so public systems management, components, there are many, but I'm just going to talk very briefly, like education, which Dr. Shivaji Banerjee talked at length. Then there are other factors like energy, environment, healthcare, transportation, logistics. These have all emerged as new forces during this COVID period because of the issues, concern, the risk, the public perception of risk, which is changing. And during COVID, we already saw that e-commerce, which is a vital component of supply chain and logistic management, get unprecedented attention. And in 2020, according to McKinsey, the share of e-commerce grew to 2 to 5 times the rate before COVID-19. So supply chain logistics is definitely an emerging sector. Then healthcare is another very emerging sector. It also belongs to public systems management. And as you saw yourselves, the students, that e-health has become a necessity and had become a necessity in COVID times when some hospitals were shut down, doctors could not come in person. So telemedicine, teleradiology, digital apps for doctors' consultation, patient management, they have all emerged. So when we have healthcare managers, which is a field which you can explore, they need to understand how to effectively use digital apps. And they have to understand what are the current risks and opportunities in healthcare sectors and use them effectively for jobs. And you have to be able to understand, and as I'm saying, not the technology, but how to use them. Finally, I'll just mention, and this has to be said, especially during COVID times and in the world today, what is happening? The Paris Agreement on Climate Change 2015, the Conference of the Parties, COP26 in 2021, which is asking countries to develop mitigation measures to combat climate change, environment, etc. And so these new and management subjects like environment, energy, etc. have become emerging issues in all organizations, including public sectors, and for sustainable development. And so amongst different categories of workforce, pro-environmental behavior is emerging more and more. It is being taken as a policy by the top management that this has to be incorporated so that all organization levels of management, from strategic, operational, they have to be involved in this kind of sustainable development of organizations. So I'm going to end the talk here. So,
Madam, thank you, madam. You have said so many things which I have noted down. One is hybrid mode, digital skills. As you said, the McKinsey report where it said that 14% to acquire new skills, particularly robotics, big data analytics, telecommunication, etc. Then digital aesthetics, as you rightly said. Then trends, forecasting. Apart from that, public systems management, energy management kept coming up. Of course, we saw supply chain management in a very different way, right? Telemedicine, one of the ways which we've said, e-health. But ma'am, I have a question, if you don't mind. This is my personal asking to you, can say. Madam, we have seen this is, there are 3 sections in a society, as we know, right? The top, there's a topmost part, there's the middle part and the bottom part, right? Now, how do we cater to these three different levels, layers? As
Actually,
management, I mean, as career option for management, as a management, particularly.
yes.
Because
So
everyone will not be able to go to the higher level, higher strata, right? So what do we,
Right.
how do we convert this lower strata, according to you, to be, you know, a student of management as per se, and be a manager tomorrow?
Yes. So the best part of, what I've really seen, observed that if you don't think about really only the money aspect, but you try to think how you can serve and add value to society, as I think Ms. Vratuti also said that really gives, that really helps up to open all the, become automatically, you can play a very important managerial role. Okay, so what I'm trying to say, if you, in addition to that, in addition to earning money, that's of course an aspect of management. If you can add sincerity and integrity to the management you're providing, automatically you will fit in any role. And going to top management also is not an important issue. So what happens here is that public systems or whatever management they cater to, you have to also cater and remember, as we saw in the COVID times, the very, the bottom part of society, okay, the disadvantaged people. And lot of, the new perspective of industries as well as government has already cared about that. In the COVID times, we saw unprecedented help given to those sectors who could not work. But even, important industrial sectors also have very good CSR schemes, corporate social responsibility schemes, which they use to promote community development. Okay, so manager, what I mean to say, we did not traditionally think of, like top management, operational management, middle management, but also say social managers. Okay, that is a very, very emerging field. A lot of students of IISWBM are saying they're getting very good jobs in that field, because that is the requirement of the hour. If you can't develop the whole country, how will we cater to only a few of them? Okay, so this is a part where a lot of people will find it in their hearts, since those who've passed through such COVID times, they find it in their hearts, and this is an opportunity to earn money or to get money. Obviously, it's not a free thing, but at the same time, you're giving a lot of yourself to them, to the vulnerable sector, which are always most affected in such disasters. So government has provided, the government is, giving out contracts and helping people to participate in public health. That is another career option. There are lots of fundings are coming in because government wants people to think out of the box, think of futuristic courses, which will promote also in sustainable development rather than the traditional management, what you're talking about. So one of them is definitely, students can think that while being managers, how they can maintain the impartiality, the neutrality, and serve all people. And that will enable them to, in any position of leadership, to become leaders, I think, rather than managers. That's what they would think of. And once they become leaders, management will automatically come. I think that should be the way.
Okay, ma'am. In that case, do you think rural management will become an important force?
Yes. Very much.
Rural management tomorrow can become a leading force in shaping the country's future?
Yes, because yes, definitely. I strongly believe that, actually. And I would love to see such kind of offline subject and not the traditional of mainstream subjects coming up in management institutes. I mean, the mainstream will continue, definitely, they are the pillars. But I'm trying to say such kind of offbeat subjects would definitely have a very big role in the future, because you're contributing towards sustainability of society as a whole when you're talking about this, and you're providing employment to a lot of people who are good at their skills, but you're trying to manage them and giving them a platform. So I think that's very important in today's context.
Okay, coming back to Dr. Banerjee, but Dr. Banerjee, you said about this, the pedagogy should change, right? Now, can you just say a little bit, because there are viewers who are here, like to know, how do you think of changing the pedagogy in this scenario? If you can kindly elaborate on that a little bit.
Exactly. Now, the first thing is, what is the need of the hour? We talked about employability, and I think a NASSCOM report 2 years back said that 70% of our graduates are unemployable. So this is itself alarming, that when 70% of the graduates we produce are unemployable, it is time for us to really rethink on the relevance of our present education system, because the redundancy of the present education system calls the need for a partnership of industry and of academia, because ultimately what we produce, the students, they're absorbed in the industry. Also, if they can become self-employed or later become entrepreneurs, as Jhumoor madam mentioned. So it is the need of the hour that we really reflect and redesign our curriculum and our pedagogy, particularly with the advent of this online education, that can really make sense in terms of the CBCS choice-based curriculum that had come up, and the national education policy in 2020 that is coming up is emphasizing a lot on flexibilities in the education system. And I think if that can really be to some extent implemented, that will definitely sharpen and hone the skills of our students to a better extent and can really make them employable. And that can improve upon the, the economic development and the economic scenario of our country in particular.
Okay. Now, in that case, do you think innovation, or I mean, say entrepreneurship particularly, can be a leading force in that case?
Absolutely. Innovation and entrepreneurship will really, create that hallmark, that spark in management education that's really going to, make people self-sufficient, become innovative in their own ways and new ways of technology. I was reading an article the other day about the circular economy, where we can make an economy out of wastes. What plastic and everything, what are really becoming wastes, if we can really recycle them and create an employment and an economy out of it, it can really be beneficial environmentally, as well as looking from the dimension of sustainability, as was being mentioned by Dr. Biswas.
Okay. I have another question.
Actually, if you don't mind, because every resource is not a waste. Everything can be transformed and they can be made to be used. What already Jhumoor has mentioned, and that is probably all, which is part of, how you have a sustainable development.
Absolutely, ma'am.
So anyway, Dr. Bhattacharya, please continue.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Thank you, ma'am. Well, Dr. Banerjee, see, there are students have asked the question. There are different streams in management. Which stream, according to you, is more relevant for a graduating student to choose a career option post-COVID?
I think the first answer to my student is management is a holistic educational system. So it's not marketing in isolation or finance in isolation or HR in isolation that does really make sense or makes the meaning out of it. So management is an integrated approach. What management education tries to teach us is an integrated approach. That's number one. Number two is, instead of focusing on what the demand in the market is, I think one should focus on the demand that the personal preference and the skills that the person has. Because for becoming a marketing professional or a sales professional or an IT professional, HR professional, or maybe a finance professional, you need to have different skill sets. And I think depending on what you are good at, what your interests lie, focus should be more on that, less on the marketability and on the pay package and what the job market demands. Because a management student should be having a comprehensive and a holistic outlook towards, management education. And I think that's what is important. So I should not at this platform recommend that this stream is doing better than that, because I have seen times changing. So there was a time when finance was doing better than marketing, because, places where I teach MBA or I'm associated with management students, I find that, often this debate is there that whether marketing is getting more students and finance or HR is getting less. But what is the placement like? What is the package like, etc. But as an academician and as a practitioner in the field of management, I would say that one should focus on one's skills, one's interests, one's abilities, and not on the job market. Yes, definitely job market is important. Like we had already mentioned today, the Internet of Things, the artificial intelligence, the digital revolution, big data, these are things that are coming up. But that doesn't mean that the basic functional or foundational management subjects become irrelevant. So based on the knowledge of basic marketing, HR, finance, environment, sustainability, one can build upon their skills of these latest, topics that have come up. And I think if a combination or a good blend can be achieved, I think that's the need of the hour, and that can do wonders.
May I have a question, Dr. Bhattacharya? Dr. Bhattacharya?
Oh, yeah. Am I audible now? I'm sorry. I'm audible now?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm sorry. as I'm saying, is public administration an important aspect for managers to understand in this VUCA world? Dr. Biswas, please, can you throw some light
Yes.
on this?
Yes, public administration.
Since you are from public systems management, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, please.
Yes. Public administration, as you know, has played a crucial role actually in the entire COVID period. But I think more importantly, public-private partnerships have become the essence of the hour, which has been shown very effectively. You know, the COVAX, during the vaccination process, the CoWIN app developed, you know, which really prevented crowds from coming at the centers, and you know, everything was just managed very well. So you can't really say, because public. So what is happening today is that public systems are not really, you know, just public systems. They're incorporating skills from private sector, and private sector incorporating public systems management into their kind of businesses. Like sustainability has become a big issue across all private sectors. So this is a really no clear demarcation. But yes, public, you know, sectors often have to work with people with fixed mindsets, like government officials. Sometimes the laws, the compliance issues are very important in public systems. Health also, you know, the doctors have to work with certain kind of healthcare workers at certain times. Government policies, these are there, but flexibility is coming more and more into public systems, which are really going to aid the current managers. It's not the traditional public systems, but yes, one thing is there, they do give real service to the people, and that part has not changed. But the flexibility, the way of approach is changing. So as Dr. Banerjee also said, that things are changing. So it's really, you make a blend of the traditional with the new thinking, and public systems is also not about that. They are also open to new ideas, and they are, so that can be incorporated with traditional management. And in a holistic perspective, the organizations have shown the way that this can be done. And, you know, the government is also, you know, taking more and more accountability during these times. So everything has changed. So I think that the public systems are becoming more important, and they are can be an alternative career along with the traditional. I mean, so what I mean to say, like, and what Dr. Banerjee said, that HR policy can also incorporate sustainability rather than only, you know, the well-being of the workforce, because well-being of the workforce involves sustainability issues. So there's a new way of thinking, and you can't really demarcate both systems of management. Both are becoming closer to each other in their thinking process. That's what I feel.
So you mean to say that they are in symbiotic relationship?
Yes, yes, there is. It is symbiotic.
Right.
That is very well put. Yeah.
Right. That's the right. I think that's the right word.
And sir, I would like to add something.
Right. So in that case, you know, ma'am, yeah, please, of course, please.
I would tell my management students who are all listening to this webinar that it is not about public administration or private administration or organizations or entrepreneurship. Somebody who really, you know, hones the skills of management should first be able to manage his life very well, should be able to manage his personal life well, organizational life well, public life well, public systems, as well as administration. So someone who is a good manager, who has the ability to manage well, okay, should be a comprehensive blend of everything. I remember something which Stephen Hawking had said: intelligence is the ability to adapt to change. I think Madam Ratati at the very beginning had said this, that, you know, intelligent creatures should be able to change. So blending of the past and the present, the traditional with the modern, is what is the need of the hour. And the better we are in doing that, the more equipped and the brighter would be our future. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, in that case, you know, there should be, I have a question there also. It comes to my mind, you know, the environmental ecosystem and sustainability management should be the key word post-COVID. Do you agree with this, Dr. Biswas or Dr. Banerjee?
Yes, one of the key words I do agree, because that is my favorite subject. I have to jump in a little bit.
That's what comes out from your discussion, right?
Yes.
Kindly elaborate on this a little bit.
Because the point is, see, as I mentioned earlier, the world is seeing that no matter how much we talk about other aspects of jobs, earning money, nothing will exist if we can't stop the forces of climate change, and if we don't stop deteriorating environment. So that has become a very big focus, and world has understood at last. And also, as we see devastating, you know, not only in developing countries, we see cyclones, you know, coming at frequency, very high frequency because of climate change. In developed worlds, like in US, we see wildfires spreading because of climate change, because of heated temperatures. So even if the world is not destroyed by wars etc., they will definitely be destroyed by climate change if we don't wake up to reality. There'll be water resource problems, there'll be water scarcity, sea level rise. So everything, the world will be destroyed. So at the beginning, we have to learn how to sort of manage this properly. Manage, I mean, so who's going to manage this? Everybody, all organizations, all people, everyone must think before how to reduce their carbon footprint. That is the first thing. Everybody should be able to do that. How to conserve water. That is for everyone. So unless we think of this bigger picture, we really can't say anything about anything because the world might not exist as we know it. And the future generations won't have anything to live to. So that is my thinking here.
Okay, Dr. Banerjee, anything to add on this?
Exactly. And technology has not changed the basic human nature. Technology has created shifts in consumer behavior and choices. We are pampered by choices now. And the expectations that we have, that has also increased manifold. So I think, balancing the excess and, being able to do with what we have, preservation is also the need of the hour. Because if we are to maintain that balance, that, symbiosis, that balance in our ecosystem, if we are going to aim at sustainability, that is very, very vital. Misuse, wastage, abuse has to be stopped at any cost. Otherwise, it's going to be really challenging for the future ahead.
I think, in that case, one more issue which is very important is, green consumerism, which is very, very big, which will come up very soon. Green consumerism. As we know that a green consumer is very important for that purpose.
Yeah, green marketing in the context of green marketing.
Green consumerism is very important, right? Well, Dr. Majumdar has a question for us. He says, in what methodology holistic management approach could be applied to develop specialized workforce? A very pertinent question, of course. I think, Dr. Banerjee, should you address the question first? He says,
just repeat the question once.
In what methodology holistic management approach could be applied to develop specialized workforce?
Okay. I feel holistic management approach is an integrated interdisciplinary approach, because different functional areas, marketing, HR, finance, if they're all integrated, I think skills, technology, behavior can also be taken into consideration. And if that can be done, I think the problems, of that we are facing can be solved to a great extent. And customer engagement, customer relationship management, all these would be the need of the hour, because that would define the way we define our expectations, our satisfaction, and ultimately to give everything a human touch. Because possibly with the excess use of technology, we are losing that human touch. And engaging behavior is what is important, because ultimately repeated interactions with people and technology will create a stronger organizational structure. And that model, I think, would really be helpful for bringing about sustainability in the future.
Anything on this? Would you like to add something on this?
I think Dr. Banerjee has nicely summarized this entire process.
One of the students wants to ask you a question. Sobuchkana and Oscar. Sobuchkana, are you there? Sobuchkana? Sobuchkana, are you there? I think maybe she has lost. Sobuchkana, are you there? Well, another question has come to me. What form of skills are more relevant? Yeah, you're there. Okay, so you can ask a question, please. Please carry on with the question. Please ask your question. Sobuchkana, you have a question said. Please.
Yes, sir. In today's world, analytics has emerged as an important career option. So, do you think that building managers need to learn this to be as a compatible with the industry 4.0?
So, meanwhile, I think you can write the question in the chat box. I'll ask the question for you. Okay. You can write the question in the chat box. I'll ask the question on your behalf. Okay, please write down the question there. I can carry on with the next question, which has come to me. What form of skills are more relevant in post-pandemic era in managing? This is what the question has come to me. What form of skills are more relevant in managing different social issues, right? Yes, please, Dr. Biswas, please.
Yes, so the thing is that we already discussed that new management skills which have come up, the social skills, they have to be catering to the vulnerable sector. A part of it you talked already about developing new management fields like rural management.
Well, in managing challenges, just say what has come managing challenges, in this era of digital technology, sometimes it comes too late.
Right. So okay. One of the management challenges we saw when schools were shut down and then education was given online, right? And that was okay for the urban schools, but we saw that a lot of rural schools were affected. The children were affected because they did not have the network capabilities to get education. I mean, they lost network capabilities. They were not used to. They didn't own mobile phones. They were not economic. This was not feasible in most of the rural sector for education. So this was one of the challenges in the education sector, which clearly came out during COVID, when a lot of younger children they went back to work in the fields and could not continue. And again, now that's post-COVID, again they have to slowly trickling back. So this was a big issue. We could not continue uninterrupted during current times. This is one of the challenges we saw. I think one of the major challenges which would have an impact on future society.
So I think we have almost come to the end of this discussion. Does anyone have any question?
Yes, sir, I have a question.
Yeah, please. He's Deepak Kumar, a first year student. Yeah, please ask a question.
Good evening, sir. My question is that how are social issue in public system management looked upon in today's post-COVID scenario?
Okay, you are asking this question to Dr. Biswas, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Dr. Biswas, he asked you a question. Deepak, please repeat the question once again.
How are social issue in public system management looked upon in today's post-COVID scenario?
Oh, it says how are social issues in public systems management looked upon in today's post-COVID scenario?
Okay, social issues, I think the biggest two are education and health. So that is already, as I mentioned in the talk, these are become very emerging sectors. I mentioned, I think, telemedicine concept where doctors are able to treat patients located anywhere. I mean, they might not have the health structure, but that proved to be very invaluable during COVID times. Okay, so these are some of so that was taken care of, and then education also. New models were tried out, hybrid models, and another thing was people could be educated from where they were. Of course, network issues, etc. we mentioned. But again, this entire concept that people can get treatment, people can be educated, more and more people can get educated. They need not be physically going to schools. They can still, that concept that has at least emerged. What will emerge more in the future after post-COVID will be the implementation of these two issues. And once we can do that, then education and health, the main social issues, will be accessible to a lot more people. And that would really help, I think. So this is the way.
Okay. I think, does anyone have any question now? Any further question for anyone?
Yes, sir. Sir,
Okay,
good evening,
please.
sir. I'm Tanya Basu. Sir,
Yeah,
I
please.
have a question for Dr. Biswas.
Yeah, please.
So how can, I like to ask that how can environmental ecosystem and sustainability management be addressed post-COVID?
It is already, she's already answered, Tanya. She's already answered this question. She's already answered this question.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Sir, this is Utsav, sir.
Yeah, please.
Ask a question.
Yeah, please.
Yes, sir. Since this is my question to both sir and madam. Sir, madam, if
please, once again, Utsav.
Please hold.
You're not audible properly. You could write the question in the chat box. I'll ask them the question. Utsav, can you hear me? I'm audible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, please carry on.
Yes, the question was if our 70% of our students are unemployed and 70% of our population lives in the rural areas, then can't we channelize those students to the rural areas to make this world this country a better place?
Okay.
So, if I may answer?
Yeah.
It is not about talking of employability. It is not about the rural or the urban. It is 70% of our graduates. As per the 2018 NASSCOM report, it is 70% of our graduates, both rural and urban, across all disciplines. Okay, that's number one. And number two is 70% of the people living in rural areas is definitely an opportunity, but with rapid migration of people, that restriction has always been withdrawn. Now, your topic of bringing those people from urban areas to rural areas for employment is not going to really be effective unless the people have the necessary skills to provide them with a career choice. Exploring a career option, whether you want to open your own business or you want to become an entrepreneur or a startup, whatever you may call it, it has to be really something that you have to assess depending on what the market needs and what you're personally capable of. Entrepreneurship is definitely evolving. That doesn't mean everybody can become an effective entrepreneur. So you need to have the necessary skills to hone that particular profession. So whether you want a government job or a job in a private sector, or you want to take up a startup or become an entrepreneur, you need to have the skills. The data by NASSCOM is an indication that probably our education system to some extent is becoming redundant, and it is really time for us to rethink and strategize the whole thing, rebuild the whole thing. So it is in one way an opportunity, definitely, for us to really start from the scratch so that we can really do something unique for the future generation. So that is what I exactly meant when I gave those data from the NASSCOM report.
Yeah, Utsav, to add on to what Dr. Banerjee has said, it is basically a SWOT analysis we have to do, as he said. Because we are at the cross, as I said in the beginning, we are at the crossroads now. What we saw 2 years back and what we see today is totally a different picture. Am I right, Dr. Banerjee and Dr. Biswas?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Great.
Okay. So I think we had a very good session, a very good interactive session with different ideas and different questions. I would request Rahul Shaw, a student, to give his vote of to give the takeaways from this particular session today, which we had. Rahul, please.
Good evening, sir. So, sir, am I audible?
You are audible. You are audible. Yes, you are audible.
The webinar was truly an insightful one. Thank you, ma'am and sir, for throwing light on such an important topic. We truly got to learn a lot from you. Now, I, Rahul Shah, from batch 21-23, would like to present the key takeaways from today's session. So, the pandemic has forced the decision makers to digital education rather than physical education. Digital education will become the mainstream type of education in future. Unlimited participants, where India is a bigger market due to availability of internet to a larger part of population. So here the digital education will play a bigger part in educating the people of India. And high quality learning, cost effectiveness, confined to their own home are the reasons why people are choosing and preferring the digital education more than the traditional one. And right skills and adaptability to change will decide the future of management education. So exploring management option post-COVID in hybrid mode has helped making a person skilled in digital technology, and also it has helped the industries to get a skilled person who will help the industry grow, because 40% of global workers require skills in all sectors to adapt to the new technology. Managers will have to develop particular skills that will open up multiple opportunities in this field, and the e-commerce and health sector have grown 2 to 5 times in this course of pandemic. So these are the takeaways for today's session. Thank you.
Thank you, Rahul. Thank you. I would now request another student, a first year student, Gaurav. Yeah, Gaurav Mahato is there.
Yes, sir.
To give it a vote of thanks.
Yes. A very good afternoon to everyone present here. It is my privilege to propose a vote of thanks on behalf of the entire fraternity of the CBS. I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to the core committee members, especially Mr. Saurabh Ghosh, Senior Advisor of the Shikshayatan Foundation, Mrs. Bratati Bhattacharya, Secretary General and CEO Shikshayatan Foundation, and our Principal Sir, Dr. Pinaki Ranjan Bhattacharya, for giving us the best of opportunities. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to the panelist, Professor Dr. Jhumoor Biswas and Professor Dr. Shivaji Banerjee, and also the moderator, Dr. Pinaki Ranjan Bhattacharya, sir. I'm really thankful to the honorable panelist and moderator for taking out time from their busy schedule to grace the event and enlightening us with their knowledge. With a deep sense of gratitude, I would also like to thank all of my professors, faculty members for always encouraging us. Also, I would like to thank our technical team, officers and staff, as we are fortunate enough to be backed by such a team for helping the conduct this webinar smoothly. And last but not the least, thanks to all the students of CBS who are attending the webinar and viewers who are watching it live on Facebook. We appreciate your involvement and thank you for sparing the valuable time for this session. We are sure that by participating in the session, you have gained useful knowledge. Thanks for being our biggest support system. Thank you all very much. With the hope of meeting all of you again very soon, I wish you all a great and healthy life on behalf of the Institute. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you, Gaurav. Thank you. I think I should thank Dr. Banerjee and Jhumoor, Dr. Biswas rather. Dr. Shivaji Banerjee is very well known to me. Well, I've told him many times to come down, just visit our institute once. I would request Dr. Biswas also to please come and visit the institute once, so that we can have a physical, interaction, and we can, discuss so many issues which we have in our mind, right? I thank you all. We leave it with on a happy note. Thank you. Thanks to all of you. Thank you. Thank you for joining.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Namaskar. Thank you.